And some people always wonder, what's the difference between a rancher and a farmer? There's not much difference, and they can kind of be considered the same thing. But usually a rancher would be more involved with cattle and sheep and maybe goats, and up in the mountains, and then they bring them down for winter feed. The farmer would be more about somebody who grows crops. And so right here, you guys, we are standing in a tulip field. So if you look behind me, you will see tulips starting to come up and starting to bloom. Now, the farmers are out working today. If you can see out behind me, they are moving big pipe that are called hand lines. So that means those pipes are what produce the water to spray all over the field so that the tulips get enough water. So they will move all those hand lines multiple times to cover the whole field. So there's different kinds of irrigation, and we talked about the hand lines. So we pump this water out of a river, and then it comes into these pipes, and on top of the pipe there's a sprinkler. The other kind of irrigation we do is flood irrigation. So we open a water valve and it floods down a canal until the canal gets full, and then it runs into our fields and waters the hay fields. So there's lots of jobs that a farmer and a rancher has to do. Here, there has to be somebody that can milk the cow and feed the animals. And they have to be knowledgeable about the animals, so if one gets sick, they know how to take care of it. Then we have farmers that have to know about crops, whether that's the alfalfa we feed the cows, or tulip fields, or a corn field, and they have to know the science behind how much water they need, how deep we plant the seeds or the bulbs. And then they have to come out and care for them and make sure they get water in the appropriate times. Cindy, she is a Jersey milk cow. Sometimes you've probably seen a big black and white cow. That would be called a Holstein, and they also produce milk. Something really cool about Jerseys, which I'm going to show you a little bit later after we milk her, is the cream that a Jersey produces, and that's the top layer of milk. Cindy is 5 years old, and she can produce up to 3 gallons of milk a day for us. So each morning we come out and milk her, and each night we milk her as well. In between that is when she gets to eat, and we'll show you how we feed her. All right, so the first thing we have to do is clean her udder off, because cows lay down in the dirt and we don't want to drink dirty milk. So I'm just going to use some baby wipes, and we will clean her udder off really quick, and then we'll start milking. Okay, so up here is called her udder. This is where all the milk is produced. And then she has a teat. She has 4 teats that we milk. And then the milk comes out a small hole at the bottom, which is called the orifice. So I'm going to squeeze here, and milk is going to start coming out of her orifice into the milk bucket. And Cindy is the cow, and she can produce about 1.5 gallons morning and night. And so each morning we come out and do this routine, and then at night we come back out and do it again.
Hi kids, I'm Farmer Carson here at the Crossy Ranch. We have so many goats here, and we want to teach you all about the goats we have at the ranch and what we use them for. We have what we call dairy goats at Crossy Ranch. Dairy goat means that we milk them and we can use their milk for different products. This is Kanga. She is an Oberhausley milk goat. So Kanga is pregnant, and we are going to expect babies from her any time. Once Kanga has her babies, she will start to produce milk. Do you drink milk every morning with your breakfast or pour it on your cereal? Kanga produces goat milk. It's a little different than what you might find in the store. So where do you actually get that milk from your animals? Kanga has what we call a mammary system. A mammary system is where all the milk is produced, and we receive the milk through the udder. So come and look a little closer right here. This is Kanga's mammary system and her udders. When she has her babies and we go to milk her, we will simply just pinch it and squeeze the milk right out. What do your eyes look like when you look in the mirror? Have you noticed you have a round pupil? Come look here at Kanga's eye. Kanga has a rectangle pupil. That is so when she is out in the field browsing, that she can see almost all the way around her body. Alright, so we talked about milking the goat because we have dairy goats. Now let's talk about what do we use that milk with. Have you ever heard of a byproduct? What's a byproduct? A byproduct is something that we take from the animal and then turn it into something that we can use. So a byproduct from a goat could be something like lotion, goat soap. Have you ever had ice cream made with goat milk? Or maybe even just yogurt for breakfast? Have you ever seen a pack goat? Goats can be used for so many different things, and one of those things is packing. You remember when I said browser? Goats are browsers, and that means that they like to eat as they go. So they just kind of walk around eating some leaves, then they eat some grass, and then they eat a weed. And so when you go in the mountains and pack with them, they can just eat what's in the mountains. The other cool thing about goats is they are so insecure that they will just follow you, just like this. Alright, the last thing we want to show you is these cute babies drinking their milk. This is the nipple and the bottle. Just like in your classroom, the teacher showed you the calf nipple. We hope you've enjoyed watching our goats today and enjoyed how fun they are. Thank you! Okay.
So now that we're done milking the cow, this is the milk that came out of her. The top looks a little different and it's kind of foamy. That's called the cream. Jersey cows produce the most amount of cream of all the cows. The bottom layer, which you can't see right now, is the actual milk that you would drink from the store. Have you ever heard of something like peaches and cream with a little sugar? That tastes delicious. All right, so this is hay that we feed our animals. So Cindy has to eat good protein so that she can produce all that milk. So this is called alfalfa hay, and this is in a flake. So the farmer goes out and cuts the alfalfa out of the field, just like you would cut your grass, but it's a lot more. And then they put it in a baler, and it forms a bale that looks similar to this. So I'm going to just take this plate of alfalfa. It's got lots of leaves and yumminess for the cow, and I'll just throw it over here. And Cindy and Magnolia are going to go to town eating that. Go out and you have to feed your animals. So these are our cows. Let's go down and look at some of our sheep and our llama, and we'll feed them as well. A lot of the livestock here on the farm can eat similar foods. So everyone that we're going to feed today is going to eat some alfalfa. This is Dottie, our llama, and two of our baby doll sheep. The next pen of animals is our goats. So just like we milked Cindy, did you know you can milk a goat? We're not going to milk a goat today on the video, but some of our animals are able to be by purpose. So we have dairy goats in this pen that produce milk, as well as we have some pack goats, and we use them to pack in the mountains with us. This pen is one of our sheep. She has two little babies with her. Can you spot them? So do you guys want to come see one of my other favorite animals? This here is a yak. Have you ever seen a yak? Look at her. This is Angie, and she is about 2 years old, and she's so cute that you can barely even see her eyes behind all of this hair.
Can you use yak hair for sheep?
Not that I think so, but not that I'm like smart in. I haven't educated myself.
Yes. There's a kind of farm by where I live, and they've got two. They must be yaks because they're only about a little bit bigger than this. I don't know, but there's like long hair.
So Annie is one of our other animals here at the farm. Annie is a Palomino quarter horse, and she's really pretty. Something fun about Annie is that she is pregnant, and she's due any day to have a little baby horse. Do you see how big she is? She weighs about 1,200 pounds. For elementary kids, you would have to put like 20 of you together just to get to that weight. Now, she's really heavy, but see how tall she is? She's almost as tall as me. Horses are measured in hands, and a hand is like this. So we stack hands on top of each other to see how many hands tall a horse is. Come over here with me and we'll see how many hands tall I am. Look here at this horse. How many hands tall are you? So if I come stand right up next to this horse and I measure my head, I am about 18.5 hands tall. So if you want to know how many hands tall you are, take a tape measure, find out how many inches tall you are, and then divide it by 4, and you'll know how tall you are, just like a horse.
Hey, I'm Jenna Gowns, and I'm a sophomore at Utah State University studying animal science.
I'm Mary Tamara, and I'm a junior at Utah State University, and I'm majoring in animal science.
We're your Utah Beef Ambassadors, and today for Farm Field Days, we are going to be going out with our friend Dalton Gibbs, who works at the Utah State South Farm, and we are going to be feeding cows with him. Dalton, what's your favorite part about working at the South Farm?
I think my favorite part about working at the South Farm is getting to use the information, the knowledge that I learned in class to a hands-on and applicable situation. And I also really enjoy the fact that I get to work with the livestock, I work with the cattle, and then I get a lot of interaction with other students and stuff.
Alright, so if you guys just want to come with us today, we are going to show you some of the process behind feeding at a cow-calf operation. So right now, as you can see, all the cows are coming in. We are out here with Dalton. He is just dropping hay off the truck. And all the cows are gonna come together right here just so that they can eat in this line that we've made of hay. And all of the calves are gonna come too. They are gonna follow around with their moms as close as they can. And a lot of times you'll see these cows kind of play around with the hay and even nurse their moms while their moms are eating. It's just really good time of the day for all of them to get some of their nutrients in.
So we're out here at the Utah State University West Drainage Farm. This is where a majority of the USU's cow-calf operation is. So basically what we're doing here is, as you can see, we have a pretty good pasture here that we calve the cows in. And then as the cows calve and we get their babies, there's a few things we have to do to them. So one thing is we have to give them a vaccination. This isn't just any vaccination. This is like a nose spray. So it helps the calf build an immunity to. And then from there is identification. So with all these calves, we want to give them an ID number. Basically, this number just shows that it's Utah State's. And and then the 1 is the year it's born, and then the number behind it is just how many calves are. So this will be calf number 82, and then our boss Bryce likes us to mark the cow's number, so that way if we lose a calf or lose a cow, we can help the mama find her calf. Is he off the ground? So he was 73 pounds. All right, buddy.
We're going to talk to you guys a little bit about the process that these cows go through. So the calves right now are in cow-calf operations with their moms. They'll go out on summer range, and then around 6 to 7 months, they're going to be weaned. And at this time, the heifers can either be kept as replacement heifers to keep in the herd, to keep having babies, or they will go on to the feedlot at this time.
Once they're in the feedlot, then they are given a different diet of high energy grains, which is to help them finish faster. And once they reach the age of 12 to 14 months, they are then processed for meat for the consumers. Thank you for coming out with us and feeding, and we hope you learned something about the beef industry.
And now your teachers are going to hand out a little activity for you guys to do about some of the things you learned with us today.
I am Zane Kelly, and this is my steer. His name is Ice. Yes, I am in the junior age group. Our club name is the Silver Spurs. I am 10 years old. My project animal is a Hereford Charolais cross beef steer. I feed my steer grain and hay every day. We try for 2.5 to 3 pounds daily gain. And this is what I feed my steer. Rations and portions are determined by target weights. Beef minimum weight for the show is 1,000 pounds. All market animals must be tagged no later than 60 days prior to the show date. I am dressed in show attire, a white shirt, a 4H patch on the left shoulder, and long pants. To prepare for the county show, wash your animal, groom your animal, have your animal trained and show ready. And this is and I have to clean up my stall every week on Saturday because look how messy it is already. I walk my steer every Saturday before I clean out my stall. And in the summer, I'm going to walk around my steer every day.
Some of those breeds might include the Barred Rock, the Buff Orpington, the Rhode Island Reds, Americana. Each year, when we get new chickens, we have different breeds coming and going, but those are some of the staples here at the ranch. Each day when we come out to the farm, we make sure that the food is full. Our chickens eat chicken mash, so that means it's really fine. Sometimes we like to throw some chicken scratch out because they just think it's a treat. Can you see them eating all of that chicken scratch? We make sure the waters are cleaned out daily and that they're full.
Come inside our hen house. We're gonna look at where the chickens lay their eggs and where they roost at night. Come on.
All right, so here is one of our laying hen boxes. The chickens will go right in here in these openings, and they'll lay in there, and that's where they lay their egg. You might see this red bar here. this is a roost. So sometimes the chickens will lay on this roost. If I want to collect the eggs, I lift the roost up. All I have to do is open this. Now the reason we got this nesting box is because once those eggs are laid, they're gonna roll away from the chicken and come into this area. So then I come out and I can collect the eggs. You're gonna see lots of different colors of eggs. Our Americana bird lays a greenish blue egg. Sometimes those eggs are a little smaller, but they still taste delicious. Sometimes we get giant eggs that won't even fit in our cartons. But most common color of egg here on the farm is a brown. Sometimes they're dark, sometimes they're light. And yes, just like in the store, we have chickens that lay white eggs. And you can see most of them are clean. Once in a while we have a dirty egg and we can just take and wipe that right off. But this provides us a really easy way to get the eggs. Now did you see? We had a green egg, we have white eggs and brown eggs. But I'm gonna show you our big egg. So let's come on down here. It got laid last night. This is like 3 times the size of all the other eggs. We call them a double yolk. Now that we've got all of our eggs collected, we're gonna show you the process of what happens between collecting and you taking your eggs home to your house. All right, now that we've gone out and we've collected our eggs, we've fed the chickens, we made sure they have water, now we've got to come in and make the eggs presentable so you can take them home. So we get our carton, we sell a dozen eggs at a time, and then I just get a simple washcloth, it's dry, and I just take the eggs, make sure if I need to wipe any dust off or anything, sometimes a feather might get stuck to it, and then I just simply put them in the cartons. Now, once in a while, we get a really dirty egg, and it would take a lot to clean it. I simply just set it to the side. We don't sell those eggs to you if they're not presentable. Once we get all of the eggs in the carton, we take it and shut it, and then we take our label and put it on that says Crossy Ranch, so you know where you got your eggs and that we are licensed to sell them.
Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3.
Baler. So once the hay's in all the rows, you drive along here and all these spikes pick up the hay and they put it through this machine and then out the back poops the hay bale.
Okay, and how many hay bales at a time does it create? Just one at a time?
One at a time. But it's continuous, so you just keep driving as it makes it. Unbaler. exact same thing, eats it up here in the front and then scoops out that big giant.
But it makes a big
1 ton.
one time. What do you need?
When you're feeding like cows and stuff, yeah, you need a tractor to lift. They'll take the pave rake out there and those wheels will lay down flat and then they'll spin it and they'll flip the hay so it dries quicker. So it makes your production time faster. Chopper, putting forks of block, and it would chop down the road with the corn, put it all up into small pieces, and spit it out in the tube into the corn hopper. And then once the hopper's full, they would go dump it into a pile, which would be their site. No, that's a grain. That would be like their grain.